Okay. I got Alex. What happened last time?
All right.
I rolled a 2.
The
This one.
crew is now on Raleigh, and it sucks as expected. Um, and upon arrival, we also discovered that we couldn't secure our payment unless the Red Sun group was able to get to the capital, and they needed to be escorted there. Unfortunately, there's a lot of problems and obstacles. There was a quarantine south of the bridge by the Parliament building. We did talk to some locals. We saw a noble. There was a terrorist attack. We got involved. We did okay. I mean, the noble died, but we walked away intact. Um, we went to go hire a runner to get us where we needed to go, and they were driving an air raft, but he was also very drunk, so Shipley was the one actually driving the vehicle. um, there was, if I have this right, there was issue at the bridge we reached where there was like way too much traffic. There was a ton of people there, and the one leader of the Red Sun group, Isabella, got off so that she could clear the crowd. She basically decided to start her mission right then and there. Um, when we reached this one checkpoint, there was already a major religious group present. They had a symbol of an orange starburst. Um, I think the name for them that I wrote down was the Church of Stellar Divinity. Uh, we got a hotel for the night, and the concierge gave us some tips on how to get back. Uh, let's see. When we got to the main government building, there was a huge crowd struggling to enter, so we had to like wait for a long time, and we talked to some of the other folks in line and listened in on some rumors. Um, some folks had been saying that when the governor general regains control, he's going to kick out all the religious groups, and then we were able to get escorted in with a shady guy named Yukon, who I don't remember who talked to him, but he was a former traveler who kind of made a deal
Marcello.
saying that's right, thank you. Marcello was talking to him, and he had said like, I'll get you in if you pass this thing along to your captain. Let's see, we got paid by the other Red Sun guy, Valas. We got a bonus, but he also declared that their mission is canceled. I think they got the update from the Imperium about that. So we said we should go back to try to find Isabella now. And we went to a cafe. We heard some rumors that the night before there was a huge uprising, and a lot of people got like taken away. Some of them were taken by like slavers and kidnappers. Some of them got imprisoned. So like any number of things could have happened to her. Let's see. We heard about a region called the Free League Wasteland, where bandit kingdoms kind of rule, and we suspect she could have been taken there. We also, following up on that thing that Yukon gave us, it included coordinates to land in Golan, which was described as like a kind of sin city. And we're expecting that we might have an offer for work waiting for us there. Let's see. We suspect we were trying to suss out like what this guy's real intentions were, and we concluded that he's probably either a cop pretending to be an arms dealer or an arms dealer pretending to be a cop. And that was all the notes that I have. I hope that was comprehensive.
That was amazing.
Excellent note taking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
Absolutely
seriously.
fantastic.
I'm gonna do like some credit cash out on that. Yeah, so I literally am not gonna canvas anything else. Let's see, we're hopping right back into Raleigh, where you are. I believe you were intending. This is my understanding of it. There's some city stuff here. That your intention was to actually try to follow up on that lead, and you were going to fly to Golan, to private pad, and investigate this 200,000 credit job. Try to make that maneuver and see if you can make that payday as a also starting point to see if you could get a lead on finding Isabella and the other two captured Red Sun workers. But you're currently in the city of Kingston, at near Startown, Raleigh, the Imperial Control Zone, and or Colonial Control Zone. And I believe you stayed in a hotel at the Capitol. The Capitol kind of has this like terraced, circular kind of, it's about 2 kilometers in diameter. The Parliament and the buildings, there's a hotel, and they seem to be in a state of crisis. There was like an attack, an organized attack by militants that seem to be working with warlords. There's a development that's really put the ICZ Colonial Authority on their heels, as well as some sort of quarantine, which no one's exactly sure what's going on, but that's just to the south of the city. But anyways, you start your day in the hotel in Kingston on City Hill. What do you do from there?
Well, we need to make our way back to the spaceport, and oh man, I would love to meet an arms dealer right about now.
All right.
Because what we need to rig up is some sort of way for our ship to be a gun platform. If we can, this is me talking to the crew here. We can't nearly afford an actual gun for one of our hard points yet, let alone the program Marcello's going to have to write to make it work right. But one bridge at a time. I figure if we can at least get ourselves maybe some sort of heavy gun, just to put it in the cargo door, and then we can at least have some sort of minor gunship capability in case we have to deal with anything out there in the wasteland. But I don't know if it's worth the time it'll take to try and find something like that before we get back to our ship, because I feel like every day that passes is not good for Isabella and her friends. Say that again, Shipley?
Do we have any way to finance these guns? Last I heard, they were prohibitively expensive.
Well, it depends on which guns you're talking about, and I don't know. Our group credits, we got about just under 230,000. We got a mortgage payment.
Are you talking about putting some kind of auto gun or something?
I'm talking about just
point?
a gun with a tripod that we can, not on the hard point. No, we can't afford that. That's $500,000.
I'm imagining something like a AC-130 gunship.
Exactly.
That is not designed to have that gun on it, but they put that gun on it. And you just stick it out the window. And
now, of course, unlike an AC, I'm not suggesting an artillery piece. I mean, I don't know. I guess when we get out to Golan, we'll see what they have. But I guess that means step one remains getting back to the spaceport safely.
So
getting on our ship.
So you're trying to get back to the starport to get to your ship, and then take off and head toward this private pad. Is that right? Or
that is my idea, yeah.
Okay. Well,
I also propose that it might be a good idea to, ask around and try to see if we can get to the bottom of what this quarantine is about. It'd be kind of sucky to stumble into some kind of viral outbreak situation without even knowing it.
True. Is that quarantine zone on our path to the spaceport?
No, the starport is to the east, and this quarantine zone is to the south of the city.
Okay. Well, then we'll spend a little time asking around about that and see what anybody knows, and then who knows what we're gonna meet on our way, though. So we don't want to take too much time.
All right. You're at the hotel. Where do you ask such questions? Make your way out of the hotel. You could stay in. As you leave the hotel, you can see that it looks like the local government has brought things back more in order. is yesterday, it is now 087 of your 1114. And yesterday, 086, it was just chaos. Like, right? Like, people couldn't even get to work. There were people just working at the government building here that we were trying to access. Couldn't even get inside, you know, and it was, there were barriers erected and security, like Overwatch on top of the buildings and stuff. And while you suspect maybe that's still going on, people seem to have returned to some sense of normalcy. You can even see from where you are, because this terrace is kind of higher up, that polluted, nasty bridge. The pollution causes the visibility to not be great, but this is only about 3 kilometers away. You can see vehicles coming and going on the bridge and people walking. So it looks like life has returned something close to normal.
If we have to check out anyway, we could ask the people at the counter, or we could stop by the concierge desk.
Let's hang about in the lobby, maybe. They probably have like a you know what I mean, a continental breakfast or something.
Yeah.
You know, we'll take
Tasty.
advantage. Yeah, exactly. Some sort of.
Despite the difficulties that this planet is facing, this area for meals is fantastic. At some point in the past, this hotel was probably intended to entertain envoys and people of more significance. So you have the benefit of a hotel that is equipped to serve a nice meal. And it's 30 credits.
It's the best eggs Benedict that I have had in a dozen worlds.
I can describe the food if you want. Do you want me to describe the food?
If it's not fish soup, then yes.
All right. There is a. I'll describe the things on the menu that you see people ordering. There's a pudding that has a really savory, salty smell, which you think might be a kind of melty cheese kind of thing, like a mix, like a fondue, or like a. I don't want to say grits because obviously it's gritty, but you know, grits can carry cheese and be kind of like that. Imagine a fondue for breakfast, I guess, is one thing. And then
I'm thinking.
Huh?
I'm imagining.
Yeah. And then there's
I can get there.
There's a really strong smelling brown jelly. You're not sure what it is made of. It has a smell that's like burned wood pile and nuts, and like a chemical smell. But it looks like other people are loving it. And then lastly, there's like
my palate is not that sophisticated, and I'm okay with that.
There's a crunchy kind of tangly dish that looks like a chow mein, and it has a citrusy smell to it.
Up for that.
Yeah, so we'll hang out here, you know, in the lobby / you know, whatever, you know, kitchen breakfast area they've got, and you all let's see who we can meet in here, including the concierge and stuff, and just hang out, consume the morning news. Is there some sort of feed available?
Yeah, I suppose there would be. Yeah, you could check the morning news as well, and I'll tell you some of the people that of note in here that are eating. Let's see. Glancing at the news that's available on a feed, like somebody has like a personal device, like a tablet, right?
Yeah, I've got that.
You can just pull the news onto that, and it's also displayed in places.
There's no local, like a local CNN. It's on a screen or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
It's so obvious to you that it's state-ran media. Like, as soon as it starts, like, everything is, like, grossly cheerful and in no way lines up with what's going on in reality right now. So let me see what the state news would say. It would say it would have a bunch of like super fear-mongering pieces about alien powers, and how the Darians want to, like, how they're constantly trying to find their way into the world, like to try to well, I don't even think I think it doesn't matter. Like, it's clear that that it has an unfriendly view of the neighboring kind of non-imperial polities, and it brings up the Darians as an example. And let's see. There's an advertisement that comes across, paid for by Buvos Industries. You see, in the Buvos Industries, the graphics that it has for it, that there is the symbol for McClellan in the watermark. There's an advertisement for Warchia Beats. And there are several different pieces on how great the production of specific local consumer goods have been, including razor blades.
Happy.
We're not going to get any good. We're not going to get any reliable information from the news feeds. It seems
No,
like
no.
maybe we should just talk to
Oh,
one of
absolutely.
these people here.
Yeah, all you sociable types. Hey, fan out across the room, would you?
Notable people in here. I was going to mention this. There are some people clearly that are off-worlders. They are wearing suits. There are 6 young people. When I say young, I mean basically the same age as like everybody here except Bellamy. You know, like in their like mid-20s, late 20s kind of. And you can tell that they keep glancing over at you all. They have taken notice of you. You can tell that you are also off-worlders. And yeah. And oh, here's the other thing I got. There's a private party in the back, but it has a guard. Otherwise, everyone
Marcello
here looks like they're like people that came here that are local government workers. Doesn't seem like a lot of people. The hotel doesn't have great occupancy currently.
Marcello can see that the group of presumably travelers are sort of stealing glances this way, and he grabs at his goblet of orange juice, lifts it high up, and sort of like mimes a toast to the other party in greeting.
You do that. You mime a toast, and they talk amongst each others for a moment, and then one of them sort of nervously tries to mimic you. This makes it very obvious to you that these are not travelers.
What? They look like travelers. They've got the suits. Who do you think these? Who do you think
I'm
these
sorry,
guys
not
are?
vac suits. Sorry, like
Suits.
most people like like formal wear, but like you're in the capital district, so that's normal. What's obvious to you is that they're from off-world. They're not from Raleigh.
Oh, okay. I sort of stuck my foot in my mouth there.
But it made sense, right? Because like they were from off-world. And you're here, so maybe you'd find some travelers.
Right.
No, you're able to tell based on their mannerisms that these are not Travelers. I imagine travelers have like kind of a pretty distinct culture, and it's a certain type of person. Most of them are, I think, Fifth Frontier war vets. There are people that have to be a Rolling Stone for some reason, and they make money. And it also, you have to have skills to be a traveler. You have to be able to operate a starship and be able to survive and do all kinds of things most normal people can't do. So,
Right on.
But you did say they were off-worlders.
yeah, that seems obvious to you. And just to go back to the
At a
original
glance, do
oh,
they?
sorry, go ahead.
Well, just real quickly, at a glance, do they look like tourists, or do they look like a business delegation, or what sort of off-worlders are we looking at here?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. No, okay, yeah. At this point, you're kind of like appraising them. So, let me see. Okay. You catch their glance, and they can tell that you. At this point, it's a thing. Like they can tell that you are also trying to appraise them, and you can sense that. But you're able to tell these are killers. These are they have muscle tone. You can see bulges beneath their suit, indicating holdout weapons. They the kind of feline-like posture, the hypervigilance. These are some kind of killers, whether they're corporate or mercenary or military. These are people that kill people.
All right. Marcello takes a sip of his orange juice and sort of turns back and just stares into his chow mein. And yeah, I don't think I want to have anything to do with this crap.
All right. The
Nervously.
original question was, what was it that you all wanted to know? I'm sorry, just to go back to the original question as well. I spent so much time.
I guess we're looking
about
for info about what anyone might have to say about the quarantine zone.
Okay, well, I think you could find that on the news as well, and on your device, right? So, what you're able to suss out is that the local news, the media claims, so the state claims that that it was part of a rebel attack, and they had attacked some sort of like a laboratory or a facility, and they claimed that it was related and on purpose. And so, so there was some danger that that the area couldn't be safe, and that it was evacuated successfully, and everyone is safe. And then they have like a you can even find like a press briefing where a person in a military uniform provides this information, and then they say that they should have it resolved within 2 days, that everybody will be returned to their homes and compensated.
What do you think is really going on there? Some kind of a chemical spill, biochemical, bioweapons release?
But they warn people that, so the quarantine zone, I'll just scribble here real quick. Red, let me, inline. So you're in this like government area, there's the river, there's the starport. This quarantine area is probably 6 or 7 kilometers to the south. Here.
I mean, if we're not heading that way, Seems like it's not going to be of a concern to us.
Yeah, I agree.
But obviously, this is something that the local authorities have taken interest in, and yes, it's obvious to you that they're being secretive about it. And so, if you want to find out more, you'll need to pierce that secrecy.
Maybe later.
Very well.
Yeah. Do you think there's money in it for us? If there's money in it for us?
Yeah, probably. But, well, that's a good point. Do you want to try to see what you can discover using your skills? Maybe we can find something out that somebody at Golan will pay for.
Social skills? I defer to Shipley. Shipley,
No.
you're
I know.
you're the charmer.
Well, that too, but also I was thinking more about your computer skills.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to draw attention to the fact that we want to go into this ban zone.
Oh, I don't want to go in there just yet, but maybe there's some
Or are
information.
thinking about going into it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. No.
Well, Captain, it'll take time. Do you want to spend the time for me to jack in and see what I can find?
Well, how much time?
Well,
What type of device do you have, Marcello? Do you have devices? Personal computers, that sort of thing?
I very likely I don't. I don't think I have it.
You could purchase it, by the way. I mean, I think that's a is that an item or that I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of second edition Traveler here. Mongoose
No,
Traveler.
there is a I think it's called a pocket computer or a hand computer or something like that. But it's 1,000 credits, I think. At book price, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I would buy one of those. I'd give anything to have a 1980s era pocket computer.
Let's see. It's
Beautiful, like rugged switch, analog keyboard.
Well, I saw an advertisement from the era the other day. It was this businessman who was standing at a payphone, which he had connected to the headset. It was like one of those audio modems or whatever.
Yes.
And I think he was like checking his email through the payphone, through the handset, and he had this magnificent pipe in his mouth. It was just a wonderful image. Wonderful.
Oh, if you could find that and share it, that would be wonderful.
I have terrible news.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They do not sell hand computers here. And it seems that by classic Traveler standards, something like a hand computer does not rate as a quality computer, but some far future technological device. Tech level 11 is what I'm seeing.
Wow.
Yeah. So that
So
seemed to be
if I
very
wanna
far-fetched
have a
at the time, I
personal-
guess.
Okay, so I would not be able to purchase a personal computer. of
Not
some sort.
here. You'll need to go to like a nicer world, basically, or
Got
a
it.
nicer place
Okay,
on
that's
this
fine.
world.
Like Golan.
That's
Golan.
Golan.
They seem like they probably have a good market.
All roads lead to Golan.
That's what it seems like. Well, let's be on our way then to the starport.
I was going to also say you could also just use the captain's. He does.
Yeah,
have
you can use mine. I mean, well, being that, yeah, give it a bit of a shot, but don't. But if it looks like it's going to be trouble, then perhaps we. Let me look around. The surveillance technology that I see around me, like, does it accord with? We're looking at tech level 8 here overall, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Does it accord with? Is this thing is
Yeah, you would know. Are you asking if it's tech level 8? You know this place is tech level 8.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, the government, like, I know they have the weapons, but do they also have, like, a noticeably higher level of technology available to them? Security forces and stuff like that, or is it all still, like, tech level 8
I
stuff?
want to make sure I know your intention of the question as well, but to answer
Well, I'm basically wondering. Sorry, go ahead.
to answer the question, I think it's clear to you what's going on here. Is there's I don't have the word for it, but these are imperial authorities, but it's a colonial setup. And it's borderline inept. So it's not. That is to say, they could go a lot farther, and maybe they will now with what's happening. But they could go a lot farther to ramp up physical security and surveillance. And yes, they do have that technological capability, but you don't get the sense that that's what's happened yet.
And it's that authority, the Iterati control zone, that has put the quarantine zone?
Yes. And that's
Okay.
the government of the capital here, which is called the ICZ, the Erotic Control Zone.
Okay, so in that case, yeah, it is probably worth a shot then, Marcello, to see what we can find out, if anything, um,
All right.
before security
Let me
gets much tighter.
let me have your computer.
I'll hand it over.
All right.
Captain, do you have a can of compressed air? This keyboard is disgusting. Holy crap.
Well, it's tech level
All
11.
Someone just licks
Have
their
some
napkin
respect.
and like rubs off the oil smeared screen and
Yeah, it's fine. Just turn it off or give it to me for a second.
shakes it a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
yeah. So
All right.
you think that it's possible to penetrate some like systems on the local internet, or world internet, but it is possible that they could find you. It's possible. I'll say you don't think it's super likely, but possible. And you'll be able to find out some information either way. But if you really
Okay.
want to find out some good information, you'll need to take that risk and pass an 8 on a computer 1 check.
Before we do this, can I ask,
Go ahead.
this internet, is it entirely localized? Is it transmitted by a satellite? Does it cover the whole globe, or just the ICZ?
Good question. You know what? Let me look real quick. I'm curious. I have an idea, but instead I'll actually take a look at it real quick and see.
If it isn't localized, if it is global, then we can maybe do it from the ship at lower risk.
Ah, yeah.
Would that point them to our ship?
Well, even if it could, we'd be on our way to Golan. We can worry about the rest later.
Something that is obvious
There is a. Sorry, go ahead, bro.
technically, this is a imperial client state, and from the point of view of the Iterati Control Zone colonial authority, they own the whole planet, and there's not some territory that isn't theirs. But of course, in reality, that's not actually what's happening. And the pad that you've been given at Golan is like a private pad. Marcello, what I was going to say is, without really risking anything, you're able to identify that this facility was oh, here it is. Sorry,
Are you talking about the Golan facility?
No. This because you were going to look up what the quarantine was about, right?
Right.
It was a like a chemical lab. It was a lab disaster of some kind. No, that's what you're able
Cap-
to know without digging for
Yeah.
taking any risks. And to answer the other question, I think it would lower the risk if you went to your ship and tried to do it. They would be able to potentially, find out that your ship is doing that. That'd be the case anytime your ship is active and announcing something as opposed to passive. Like a general principle I'm just going to kind of work on since that's in the rules.
Chemical release, chemical spill. You think it's worth pushing it? Everyone? It could go deeper, but it might risk bringing some unwanted attention on it.
Well, that was
Yes.
sort of-
Could you remind me where the chemical spill is supposed to have occurred that they're locking everyone down for?
7 kilometers to the south of where you are now in the capital of Kingston, the Irati control zone.
Okay. Because it had occurred to me that this might be related to the assassination yesterday. And if that's the case, we might not want to get tangled up in that.
But was the quarantine in place?
We might what?
It had occurred to me that they might be using the chemical spill quarantine as a cover to go after the people who were responsible for the assassination yesterday. And if that's the case, we might not want to get tangled up in that. But we don't know anything about that, and we won't until we do more research.
How long has the quarantine been in
Interesting
place?
They said that it's going to take 48 hours.
No, but how long? So it went into place after the attack?
It was actually in place during the attack as you arrived that day. So it's been going on for 2 days.
Yeah, I think it's worth pushing a little more.
Do you want to do
Just
that
do your
from your
best.
ship? Or do you want to do it here?
Did you say it would be a lower risk,
On the
or it
ship,
would not
yes.
be? Yeah, then it's worth. Yeah, then we should definitely do the lower risk version.
All right, yeah, we can definitely wait. We can definitely wait until we get back on board.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
preferably when we're in the air, and away
Yeah.
from ICZ.
These are
Ability
definitely
to-
some interesting threads to tug on. I like your theory, Shipley.
Yeah, I mean it would make sense. I mean, if that's what it is, I approve. It's better to go and root them out without a bunch of anyway.
Where to now?
Well, back to the starport.
Okay. You find returning to the starport today is actually no trouble at all. And you get back to the starport, you're able to go through customs and make it back onto the Lady of Mercia.
It's been
Always
refueled.
happy to return to this wonderful smell here. Miss it.
Yes.
Kind of faint tang of cheap beer haunting our cargo hold.
TimbR.
Yeah. So we'll. It's been refueled and we've processed everything and we're good to go.
Yeah, you had announced that you were going to take on unrefined fuel, which I don't think I put that in the cost. Oh wait, they covered it. The Red Sun covered the cost of the fuel.
We saved them some money. Well, no, they don't. I don't think they sell anything but unrefined here. It's classy.
Yeah, and you also have with you an extra crew member, the Les. Also, what's your dog's name?
Lady.
Lady. Lost track of that. I assume you don't always take Lady off the ship. Just let me know. All right.
What is Valez's intent with of coming with us? I forget.
To find out Isabella, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't he trying to save his friend?
Yes.
Yeah.
He assumes that you know mean the best at this point, since you've said that you're trying to find Isabella. So he told the other two workers to stay back, and he agreed to go with you.
Right.
Okay, so you make it back onto the ship, and you get cleared for takeoff, and you find that let's see how far it is. Get to where you're going.
Robert and Ray.
And by the way, just by way of safety, I say we generate a flight plan to TimbR while we're flying here.
Okay.
All right, yeah, you do that. Okay, so you generate a flight plan to TimbR. Interesting choice. It's only about 400 kilometers, so it's not very far away, actually. There's this kind of supercontinent, or perhaps just single continent kind of set up here, and it's on the coast. Kingston was not directly on the coast; it was a little bit off, but you find that Golan is on the coast, and as you approach Golan, you see a much denser city. I don't know what to compare it to, but maybe cities like in Dubai, or like some cities like some of the island cities I've seen in the Pacific, where there are a bunch of high rises and they're in a very tight cluster. And if you follow the coordinates to land, you will land on a pad adjacent to the roof of one of those high rises. And it looks like it, well, you don't know. We'll have to, in fact, Chapman will probably have to do like a visual landing, as far as you can tell, unless they announce themselves and open up some sort of automated system as you get closer.
Well, any last minute objections or trepidations before we do this?
I guess I'll make sure that I'm in my vac suit as usual, just in case there's trouble.
Everybody's, yeah, in their vaccine,
And
armed and stuff.
on the approach, I'm visualizing what I saw when I flew into San Diego, which is a city right on the coast. And so on one side, you just see like the blue expanse of the Pacific. And on the other side, you see some pretty arid looking rain, and then this city.
Oh yeah, that's right. San
Conurbation
Diego
or
is
whatever, right into
absolutely
it.
perfect, because I can't think of the area immediately south of San Diego, and I used to fly in San Diego's airspace, and that's perfect because that's exactly right. Because immediately, so you've got the coast and you've got this tight city, and then you've got, of course, that big city up there further north of that. But then, like, if you look the other way, it's just brown.
Yeah,
Like,
that's right. That's right.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, it is like that. Except there are cities like this, and unlike San Diego, San Diego's obviously, San Diego County is this huge sprawl, and this thing is really tight. And there's like 12.5 high rises, and then like a couple of scrapers that are like really tightly packed, and then almost like a little perimeter around that. It looks almost like a tight little antennae array as you approach. It looks like an intimidating landing to do visually, but as you're... Wait, are you guys going to try to land these coordinates?
That's why we're
Chapman?
here. Yeah, so
Cool.
let's go ahead.
All right. Chapman, as you get set up to land, this looks like a probably the hardest landing you would have ever done. You're going to have to try to do it visually, which I imagine you have to set up I'm trying to think of what the thing was called, but it's a thing that tells you where it thinks the ship is going to be, and you're going to have to try to get it where you need that. And keep that there, and then lock that in, and then hope that you got it right. And basically set up your own approach. But as you get closer, you finally receive a call, an interrogation. Who's on the radios? Or who's on comms? Whoa, 70s. Who's on comms?
Who wants to take it?
Said he did it.
Books?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay.
Sure.
It says,
I'll just hover here. You guys answer that.
it says,
Pretty nervous about this landing.
Yeah, it says something like, be advised, this is a restricted area. Please announce your identification and send your transponder code and then depart the area. Yeah. And it announces that it's a restricted area.
I'm gonna hand Books this card. So transmit the data that's on there.
So I take the card from our captain and take a deep breath and transmit the data. Hope that it doesn't cause any issues.
Okay, yeah, you send that information, and you all of a sudden, Chapman, you have like a high tech level. I would compare it to like a tractor beam, where like all of a sudden there's something that can just like lock onto your ship. Not like the physical force of a tractor beam, but if you accept its guidance, it will just perfectly guide you in and you're done. Like an auto dock, which is a hint of very high tech level, and then to Books, you get the reply, you're cleared to land. That's all you hear.
Am I the only one who can tell this because I'm at the controls?
Yeah.
All right, I'm not gonna let on to any of that. I'm just gonna be like, bam, look at that, perfect landing, first try. Nothing but skill, babies.
Nice.
Everyone clapped them on the back.
Mhm.
Good job.
Yeah, we're all very impressed.
Never had a doubt. Never had a doubt. Knew you had it in you.
It's funny how automated stuff works. I don't know if that's ever I don't think it will ever change. But it's funny what they say about like auto land, and when you have systems like that, they say it makes a bad pilot a good pilot, and it makes a really great pilot a good pilot. And that's what those things do. But then again, you're also able to land on this tiny little, like just enough to support this free trader, like a medium-sized pad. When you I mean, if you go out to greet them, there are like armed guards. They sort of mimic the style of the ICZ troops, where they have like black armor and uniforms and helmets, and they have these people not have assault rifles. They probably have, it's not laser, I think laser carbine is the what I'm looking for. They have high-tech weapons, and then somebody comes out. They don't point their weapons at you, but someone comes up and they say, well, when you all go out, who's leading the pack? I guess is it Captain Bellamy? Is that Be up front, or is
We're
Yeah,
all
I think-
behind you, Captain.
Yeah.
is that right?
I'll stride down that ramp with my hands on my hips.
Nice. Whoever's physically up front, a person among the crowd here who is not carrying a laser carbine but still has a helmet on, comes up and says, "Your authorization card, please, sir."
Yeah, I'll hand him the card.
He looks at the authorization card and he says, "Very well, please follow me." You can see that he has a blade instead of a rifle.
All right. And he
And-
can see that I have one as well.
Oh,
Well,
you
a
have your
cutlass anyway.
weapons?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. They bring you inside, and that's one of the first things they do. They say, "Your weapons, please, and please also be comfortable. There's no need for a vac suit here, or if you're wearing armor or a vac suit or anything like that. Ask that you turn it all in. Check it in with
Well, can you tell us what we're here for?
and then he like turns back to you for a moment. There's a moment of silence, and he says, I'm sorry, sir, but whoever your what I'm looking for, your
Contact.
they wouldn't say contact. It'd be a
Handler,
Liaison?
operations officer.
I suppose a business liaison. Whoever would be like someone that would manage like an account or a deal with the business, like if they're trying to actually complete a deal. But anyways, yeah,
Account manager or something.
A fixer.
yeah, I doubt they would call it a fixer. Yeah, probably whoever your liaison is. I assume that they would have told you, but I apologize if there's any confusion. We will try to correct it right away. But in the meantime,
Well, I'm gonna feel a right fool if we end up walking into a jail cell. But so be it.
a jail cell. I'm sorry, sir, but please,
Just a
if
little
you could
joke.
Just, if you could,
Let's. I'll hand over the.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
And he, he's just kind of like, he laughs and they take your stuff. Unless is somebody trying to keep their weapons and gear and armor and stuff? Is anybody resisting?
If so, I'm going to cause a diversion by being boisterously like dad jokey about this whole thing, and I'll say, "Come on, friend, a little humor there.
This person
Very
with,
little."
like, the black uniform and the katana really hates it. You can tell that he's like pretending to like Bellamy because he has to, but he hates him. He hates him.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm not suggesting anyone actually try to hide a weapon, but if you wanted to, I'm hoping my performance will be enough.
I'll take off my vac suit, turn in my gun, but I will make sure that my net is crumpled up and in my shirt, ready to deploy.
Nice. Yeah, you do that. You hide your net. Interesting. We also forgot for Marcello to make your check via the air to penetrate the internet.
Yeah,
if you want to try to do that, I apologize.
Well, yeah, why don't I do that right now? So, we're in the ship. Ship is in the air. I turn to the console and pull up the keyboard and the protocols and so on, and I try to jack in. So here we go.
What did it land on? Did it give you the 6 that you need? You got a 7, yes. You got it.
It was a 7, yeah.
All right, you got it. I'm gonna roll to see if you're detected. Anyways, yeah. So you got what you need. So I'll tell you some things that you're able to find out. This was a drug lab. I'm sorry. I'm on the wrong page. There's a lot of things wrong with this place. This is a chemical lab disaster. what you're not able to tell, because probably they don't know, which maybe I guess tells you something, is whether or not it could be definitively related to the attack. But it is owned by Buvas Industries.
Which is related to that other
McClellan.
company. Is that
McClellan.
And
McClellan?
it's clear to you that, you know, none of this is a surprise, but they are trying to get ahead of both the security situation, figure out what actually happened. So the ICZ right now, they don't know. They don't know what happened. And also try to control the narrative that gets out. They're saying, yeah, it was absolutely related to the attack. That's why it happened. They're blaming it on what are called the representatives, which are the people from Huffington.
Would it?
Okay.
I'm gonna ask, like, is it possible to push and learn more, or keep checking? Because if it should turn out that it was an accident that was caused by some sort of negligence within Buvas, that's saleable information, I think.
Right. You know what? Yeah, I'll say you could, but let me kind of frame some options here. One thing is Marcello. So I assume what Marcello, you tell him that, and tell me you ask.
Yeah, that was meant to be asked of,
Right.
of Marcello.
Sure. All right. So Marcello, one thing that you could do is you think you would fare better finding out information at this point if you had access to an actual government. However you obtain that, that would actually provide you what you need. Alternately, I will say that it will be very difficult to try to find out really specific information. This would be like remotely hacking into like private information. Very difficult. And I would almost imagine it would kind of like depend on the victim. Like you would
How stupid they are.
How stupid they are, exactly. So like it's not likely, and then also it's more likely that you'll be detected. I'm gonna move that down to a 6. You'll have to beat a 10, be a 9 for you.
Yeah.
I think it's worth.
Do you think it's worth trying now?
No,
do you
I
think
was gonna say I think it's worth waiting.
I agree.
Because I think we could take a social engineering approach later, and maybe target somebody, you know, with a special communication or something like that. Get them
Is
to
there
make
any
a mistake.
possibility of finding a government computer here where we've just landed?
Yeah, possibly. If you could ask around and find a target, somebody that get that from. And of course, I want to mention the other possibility is never mind computers. There is also people who also care.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So let's stop here.
All right. All right. Well, anyways, back to the checking in and Captain Bellamy telling dad jokes, and there's this like super like freaking super soldier dude with like this guy's trained to utmost perfection. He's got this katana on him, and then he's basically like hired by this company for the security detail. And you're doing these dad jokes, and like he's trying to laugh. He's trying to play along with it. And Chapman hid your net, your outfits. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. All right. They bring you into a waiting area, and there is it's really comfortable, and there's wine, and there's carafes of liquor, at all. It smells really nice. There's like a open like a liquor cabinet, and there's food that's set out here and everything.
Beautiful.
Of note, there are computer systems in this room. No one has entered yet. If you wanted to try to do anything with it, but you think that it'd be pretty likely that you detected if failed.
Yeah.
No.
I'm gonna go examine the liquors table.
You wonder what. So there's this kind of like chow mein that had the citrusy scent. This liquor has a citrusy scent that sort of matches that when it hits just the aroma of it. When you just allow it to go into your nose, and you're like that chow mein has some sort of connection to this liquor.
I wonder if it's. Go ahead.
I want to look around, and are we in a a rental clubhouse VIP area right now, or are we in like a place that has corporate logos, or are there brochures laying around, or?
This looks like an elite business lounge.
One that you would rent by the hour for meetings, or is it one that's owned? Is this building like a single club?
Yeah, and no, nothing from where you are. Now, I apologize. On the way in, there was a logo. Let's see. It was. It had an inn, and the bottom right of the inn was stylized into like showed like a little stellar colony or community. I don't know what to call that, but like one of those little colonies, like on Mass Effect, like one of those little, when you have like a world or a colony inside of a space station.
Oh,
so you're like
habitat?
Yeah.
Orbital habitat?
An inn, and then the bottom part shows like that with like little buildings and gardens and stuff stylized into it. That's kind of like what it is.
Okay. But no name?
That was the logo as you guys were coming into land that you saw in the building. Otherwise,
okay.
If you don't look around or anything, shortly thereafter, a Yukon showed.
No.
Smiling in a nice suit.
He also spoke to a
Hello again.
He comes up and
We made it.
Yeah, he shakes everyone's hand and addresses you by name. He says, Captain Bellamy, Chipley, First Mate Chapman. It's very good to see you again. And he shakes everyone. Marcello, it's so good to see you again. And probably like, since Marcello smokes, he just immediately goes over to the cabinet, and there's like cigars and, all sorts of different things you could smoke if that's something, a humidor, if there's anything that you wanted. And he takes one for himself, makes himself a drink, and he goes and he sits down like, not at the head of the table, but actually in the middle near the window. And you can just see like out the window is just like this smog covered. It's like hard to see anything, but you can kind of see from the smog some of the tops of these buildings piercing it nearby.
Nice place.
Well, thank you. My security detachment, the Sergeant at Arms, had informed me that there was some confusion. I apologize. And I don't think that we have met. My name is, you can call me Yukon. And I work for Nanteri Holdings. And welcome. And we are actually looking for free traders that we could work with.
Is Books here for this as
Oh,
well?
you were all there. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
My poor guy was left out. Yukon doesn't
Yeah.
appreciate our smartest member.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I was just trying to. I was just trying to paint the scene. I didn't mean to. Yes, he shakes Book's hand absolutely, and Lothak, and he like knows all.
Oh,
of
sure.
their
I really
names.
did forget about Lothak.
I know everybody forgets about Lothak, but that's okay.
Yeah.
That I don't like it when like so much time is spent trying to. I guess that's how you get DM NPCs is when like the henchman gets like tons and tons of time. Like it's fine, they're a henchman. It's cool. But yeah, and
Right.
now an interesting thing that I didn't ask, and I was going to, and I forgot, is you ask Velez to stay on the ship or come with you?
Oh, he should definitely come with us. I mean, he's
Right.
sort of a piece. He's a really important piece of all of what we actually want to do.
Yeah. To that, actually, interestingly, Yukon, he shakes. So first of all, yes, he shakes Book's hand. Shakes Lothak's hand, shakes Velez's hand, and says, "I'm sorry, you weren't registered as a crew member on the Lady of Mercia. Do you have a new crew member, Captain?"
Temporarily.
I see. Well, I apologize, but unfortunately, he smiles. One embarrassment after another today. I do not have a security clearance for my company. For you, Mr. Velez. I was not expecting you here. I am so terribly sorry for that.
Well, so what are you saying?
And Velez is like, well, surely something could be worked out. We have some important things to discuss with you. And Yukon is like, I'm sure we can. But Nanterre takes its security very seriously. And I hope, Mr. Velez, you'll do a favor for me, because my sergeant at arms, and he nods back out the window toward, the bald guy with the katana. He takes security very seriously, and it would be a personal favor for me. We will clear it up, Mr. Velez, please, and I do apologize. Would it be okay, Captain, if Mr. Velez waited on the ship just until we can get this cleared up?
Raise red flag.
Perfectly okay. Yes, Velez?
I suppose so. Very
Great.
well.
Excellent. We'll see you in a little bit.
He puts down the nice wine and mutters, and then goes
Oh,
back.
he can take the wine, right? And maybe a bottle?
Sure.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
But Mr. Velez knows, and he's like, no, it's fine, Captain. But thank you. And he puts.
Oh, okay. Hey, just trying to help.
He nods. Then, anyways, he goes back out with the security detail, and Yukon.
Social of 4, everybody.
Yukon says, I had worked out a little bit of a favor, a quid quo pro, to be honest, with Marcello. Worked out some of the squeaky wheels back in Kingston. It was a rough day there, and I found I had to use some unconventional methods myself. So I thought I would work out some fellow travelers. I used to crew a merchant vessel myself.
Yeah, so I've been told.
Yeah. Well, down to business then. I don't want to waste any of your time. I wanted to offer a better arrangement than landing at Kingston. If there are free traders that come this way, it's a useful relationship right now for us to have some independent contracts. Even with Jump 1 vessels, you get the sense that, out of character, you get the sense that there's a little bit of a backhanded compliment. You need me more than I need you. Um, and
Wow.
yeah, and he says, but in order to establish this business arrangement, you understand how this works. I've been in this position. You'll have to show your worth. That's how it works out here. I'm sure that you understand that. But if you can, I think the pay will be worth your while.
The card said 200,000 credits.
Indeed. I think that's sufficient pay for what I'm about to suggest. Now, what I am asking for to establish this relationship, this business relationship, it'll be risky.
Go on.
He drinks for a moment. You all served in the 5th Frontier War, yes? I could see. Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Then he looks at the...
Scars to prove it.
Yeah, but he looks over at the Varger. Except you. And Lothak is like, no, sir. Actually, I just became a traveler recently. You see, well, welcome. And I'm sure you'll learn from the best. But anyways, the Imperium. What would you say the state of it is out here? It's okay. Speak freely.
Down the tubes.
I would say
waves out the window, and he's like, "This is a place where you can speak freely."
I don't really notice the Imperium out here.
Indeed. I don't think
I'd say its power is fairly tenuous out here.
Indeed. Sometimes not just tenuous, but wielded improperly when it does show itself. But
Yes.
I mean, you've seen though. Well, I assume because he looks and he sees the hardware, based on any motions towards your hardware on your face and head and arms and stuff. The alternative to the Imperium is far worse.
Yeah, I guess I'd agree. Depends on which alternative
and-
you're talking about.
Is he implying the aliens? I guess.
Aliens. You say that in
Or
character.
heaven forbid,
No, I-
independence.
Or barbarism.
There are interlopers here on this planet. That part of what the ICZ preaches is true. And they do not mean well for the people here. Now, of course you'll get paid for this, but I suppose I'm just trying to reassure you for the danger that you're entering, that not only will you get paid well, but I believe this is worth doing. I need you to kill someone. A sword wielder.
Just one?
Just one.
Is he any random sword worlder? Worlder? That's hard to say.
His name is Captain Borgolfsson. He's a captain of a Sword World merchant cruiser. Don't let the cruiser part alarm you, don't worry. It's not what it used to be, and besides, perhaps you know, Sword World ships are, well, not exactly what meet our expectations in the Imperium, but Anyways, he's the captain of the Zealous, and he has started meddling in some things that concern this company, Nanterry Holdings. Unfortunately, killing him would be an intergalactic incident and a violation of Imperial High Law.
Surveillance tapes.
Okay, well, you're really selling us.
Right. I believe that he is equipping and working with the bandit kings that live out amongst the Free League in the wastes. I think that he is one of the most ardent aides to the chaos on this planet, the suffering of the people of this place. And I believe he is a murderer, and I think he deserves to die. And did I mention 200,000 credits?
You did.
Yes.
That part was really speaking to me.
And there's another thing, Captain. There's this pad. And there is what we trade. Because unlike the rest of this world, companies here in Golan have an interest in trade. And I think you could have a reliable profit coming through Raleigh and a safe place to live.
Well, speaking of those bandit kingdoms, the reason Velez is with us is because we may have lost a friend or two to them in the riots.
I see. I'm sorry to hear that.
Is there any way that you can help us find out where they are?
I was going to mention that. I am sorry to hear about your friend, but I will be honest with you all. I believe that this is why I had to ask Mr. Velez to leave. I believe that the Red Sun is involved in the insurrection here on this planet. I mean, it's obvious by now. Trouble that you went through to try to get them the government building, and then they just got turned away.
Yes. Well, it's a sad business. I don't see how that makes them responsible for the insurrection.
I think it makes them complicit, and I think that's what's created all of their complications. Don't worry, I'm not blaming you.
You think that the Red Sun is responsible for insurrection against the Imperium?
Yes, I think that they're involved. You have to understand, Shipley. These Red Sun interlopers, these off-worlders, the Imperium has its own problems, its own factions and interests, all tugging in different directions. So, not everyone that comes from the core worlds has either the Imperium's interests at heart or these worlds.
Well, this lady may have sacrificed her life to help us do what she thought was the right thing. So,
Well, I'm sure that she thinks it's the right thing. But
right.
Don't worry. I
mean, I don't have a dog in this fight at all. I don't care one way or the other. I'd love to get off this world with as much money as possible, but this lady stuck her neck out for us, and she got kidnapped as a result, so I feel somewhat responsible for that.
And the answer is, I think I have the resources to be able to find her.
Excellent.
That's great.
Excellent. That's what we like to hear.
All right. So
with respect, Yukon, I don't have a dog in this fight either. But speaking as a traveler, speaking to another traveler or a former traveler, I think you know that time spent between the stars is time where you're stuck with other people, and we made several jumps with this group of passengers. I got to know them a little bit, and honestly, they seem like I I don't know how to say it politely, but they seem like semi-befuddled do-gooders, and not any kind of insurrectionists or anti-imperial, factions or anything like that.
And you spoke to all
So
of
I
them.
I I just want to put in a word for members who I interacted with between the stars.
I just want to pass on information, traveler to traveler, of some things that I know. But perhaps you're right. And besides that, did you speak to all of them?
Well, say I spoke to every one of them. There weren't. Oh, how many were on? How many were on board?
There were 6
Captain?
on board.
I don't remember.
I thought
Oh.
there were 10.
6
Oh,
on
my
board.
bad. I thought I had 6. Well, it's gonna be 6, okay? Because I've got 6
Okay.
here, and
All right.
sorry about that.
Okay. Well, no.
We
I
paid
mean,
we
now.
paid
Oh,
double occupancy life support rates
My
for
bad. Well, don't worry, I won't take it back. But, yeah, that's fine. There were 10. Yeah, my bad. Okay, one.
but we definitely didn't speak to all 10 of them. We spoke to maybe like
certainly not.
five or six at the most, I'd say.
That's right.
But perhaps you're right. And same thing. Look, I told you this, Marcello, and it's still true. I've found where I'm setting my roots down. It's this place. It's this company. This company treats me well. I have a good life here.
Nice.
You ever think about retiring? Maybe we could talk. See if we could arrange a job. But
Sure,
anyways,
the weather looks pretty nice out here. I could see myself sitting down.
He says to the 27-year-old. Meanwhile, the 44-year-old's like clicking his heels.
Early retirement.
Look, I won't lie. This is spectacularly illegal. Killing someone from a different from the sword worlds. Don't get caught. I have a setup, rendezvous, and it should be as simple as coming into land, like you're going to make an exchange of weapons for money, and then you just need to kill him.
Just like that.
Just like that.
What can you tell
Hold
us
on a
about-
minute. Would he be at the other end of the exchange?
Yes.
See.
What can you tell us about his ship?
It's a beat-up merchant trader. It won't be at the rendezvous. That will be a complication that I will ensure does not occur. Instead, he'll be making the exchange at a fixed base, a facility in the wastes, an abandoned one. But anyways, in case it becomes some sort of complication we didn't foresee, it does have weapons. One operable pulse laser, at least. Perhaps 2. Slow. Jump 1, thrust 1.
And who's exchanging what for what?
You'll be exchanging a large number of weapons, ammunition, for 200,000 credits.
All right.
And that's the money you're proposing to offer us in exchange for killing this captain.
It would work out well for us, but either way, if you kill him, we'll ensure you get paid.
Okay.
If you're supposed to make sure his ship's out of commission, then I suppose he's going to be there with at least some of his crew. They're going to have some kind of vehicle to transport all this stuff. Are we meant to take this there in our ship, or are we going to have a ground vehicle to go?
Your ship. It has the cargo space we need. It's part of why we could use your help.
Well, you say his ship's not going to be involved, so how's he going to get the weapons out of there?
You'll have to leave that to me. But if you must know, the back channels are related to his buyer, which is one of the bandit kings. We'll have to rig the buyer in order to ensure the location, and well, I have my backup plan.
Sure, I'm just wondering if it wouldn't be easier to blow up whatever vehicle he's arriving in with some sort of concealed explosive or something. That wouldn't be as useful depending on the kind of vehicle.
He takes like a data pad, and it has all sorts of biometric data on it and stuff, and you can see what the person looks like. You have information on his crew. You kind of have this person's whole life now on this pad. He's like, I want you to see his face, and I need to know he's dead.
All right, well, can you just give us a few minutes to talk amongst ourselves, if you wouldn't mind, and we'll give you an answer right quick.
Let our staff know if there's anything that you need. We have the best food that you can find on the planet. Anything that you want to smoke or drink. Or if you're looking for other things, including things to buy. Taps his fingers on the table and gets up, walks out.
This might be the place we can get that door gun we were talking about. Good people to know. So how do y'all feel about this?
I like it.
I knew you would. Books?
I don't feel great about it, but I'm also on board if everyone else is.
I don't feel
Not
great
saying
about
I
it
think-
either. But I think we're not going to get anywhere without getting your hands a little dirty. And
Yeah.
I think this could be the break we need to actually get something done. We can't keep running cheap beer.
Oh, well, it's definitely a break. I mean, it might be a double break if we can actually get away with the money, assuming this guy actually intends to bring the money. But
Get away
there's
with
also
the money and get away with murder.
I wonder if it would be worth talking about, instead of murdering this guy, we could always double cross our friend here and maybe let this guy know that he's that somebody's paying others to murder him, and see if maybe we could get more money from him. Or do that, get money from him, and then still murder him and get money from both. Get all the money.
I mean, it's
I don't think
thinking
this
outside
captain
the
is just
box.
gonna
Thinking outside the
The
disappear
box.
if we want
humanitarians are
him.
not in earshot, right? Like,
Oh no.
I think this captain is. If he's brokering arms deals, he's not going to be scared off by knowing somebody's after him. He's probably got a lot of people who want him dead.
Yeah.
So I don't think. I
In
think
addition
Equan's
to
right. He's
that-
probably not going to stop
Yeah.
until he really is dead.
In
But
addition,
if
put
we
an arm around
do
Lothar,
shake
and I'm
him
like,
up for some
"Brooks is just
protection
kidding."
money first, then I'm not opposed to that.
in addition to that, he's his home's in the Sword Worlds. You know, it's not going to help us right now if we make friends in the Sword Worlds. It's going to help us if we make friends here. So this is a lot closer to home for us.
Right.
I'm not saying that
Or-
this would be a cakewalk, but I do think it is actually very achievable if, we can make a good solid plan and leverage our resources towards it. Especially considering the standard cycle of trying to do our trade between every single system we jump.
Oh,
We're
no,
always at the mercy of these factors that are outside of our control. This is something like where we can decide like how we're going to go about getting our money, and we don't have to worry about, market fluctuations.
Let's have a
Right.
look
Well,
at
you
this.
have a.
No,
I
go
mean, you
ahead.
have a point there, but like part of the reason I feel a little bit nervous, and I think it's a good nervous, is that we don't entirely have control of the factors at the other end. We don't know how large his crew complement is, who might be attending him. We don't know if there's going to be some kind of security detail. I feel like if we do something like this, we have to be prepared for, a lot of resistance. And the best way to go in is with overwhelming force. And I would feel more comfortable if we had that going in, so that the odds were stacked in our favor.
I mean,
What if we, I mean, we don't necessarily have to kill him though, meaning what if we, have him fake his death?
My God,
Because
this is a tricky one, isn't he?
Books is definitely a sword worlder spy.
well, like if we just to the point though, like if we have him fake his death and go somewhere and and disappear and never pop up again, then we don't have to worry about any resistance or any consequences down the road. It's kind of like the best of both worlds. But I guess ultimately there'd be no way to to ensure that he would disappear, and if he ever popped up again, our reputation and everything we put into it would be
If we could
gone.
credibly
with
convince him of that,
respect,
presumably we would already be able to kill him.
I think you've been reading a little too many spy novels.
Maybe.
I think
I-
sword worlders are not known for their shy, retiring nature. Of course, I haven't been there a bunch myself, but I think right now we just have to decide. Yes, we're taking the job, and then we can talk about the whys and wherefores and hows a little bit later on.
Well, I put my vote in for a yes. Let's take the job.
All right, let's do it.
Well, hold on.
That's the spirit.
Everybody's okay. I'm gonna make those votes temporary. Let's have a look at this data pad, shall we? You said we basically had his whole life, or approximating that. What is this guy? Are there records here, criminal records or allegations, pieces of evidence, accused of, murdering, blah blah blah, or providing the so? What are we looking at?
Absolutely.
Or is he a humanitarian?
He is a sword world free trader. So he it comes across like he's this like intergalactic, just a terror, like a terrorist. Like he just goes around and raids and causes chaos and profits off of it. But it is true that like as an imperial citizen, if you just like go off into foreign territory and just kill somebody, that that's I'm going to say that's against imperial high law. For an imperial citizen to be like a vigilante across in an intergalactic sort of sense like that. So certainly not your place to start hunting down sword worlders. But yeah, according to this, he's a bad dude. He trades with these like bandit kings and plays both sides, and so he'll. It looks like he steals from the Golan Business Association and finds ways to kind of Robin Hood, maybe the opposite of Robin Hood. He'll where weapons and arms are shipped from Golan into the ICZ. He intercepts them and finds ways to steal them, and then gets them diverted over to the bandit kings and stuff like that. Makes a profit off of it. It says that he comes from a faction called the Satro Zealots. Apparently, they are very. There are, different types of sword worlders, and these are people that strongly believe in the kind of traditional bent of the sword worlds, the Satro, the belief in the Norse gods, and living a traditional life. And so he believes he's like, sort of fulfilling his place or securing his place in Valhalla by just going and murdering and stealing and doing all this stuff.
You see, everyone, looks like he's asking for it. Looks like he'll be happy to get. Looks like he'll be happy to go where we're going to send him.
Well, I'm glad we've got our morals all tied up.
Exactly.
That's an interesting point. I wonder how receptive he would be to just a challenge, like a duel. Like if we just like hit him with that straight up. Like, come on, it's
I don't
an
know if we
honorable.
have anyone who could win. How confident are you in Bellamy's class skills?
It is next to vac suit, cutlass and vac suit at 2. So.
Wow.
So for secretly Bellamy is actually always itching for a fight. But no.
Well, this guy does sound like a grade A scumbag, so
There's a lot of
Be
good money
sorry
to be
when-
made in assassination, and it's rare that we actually get a target who's we can feel this good about doing away with.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have our answer then.
All right. When Yukon comes back, as much food, as much enjoyment as you want before you depart, they offer all of it. They have refined fuel available that they keep in their own private tanks. They have.
We don't need it quite yet, but it's nice to know.
They top you off anyway as long as you just consent to it.
Well, I want to
if
know.
you don't, then you don't get it.
Actually, I want to know if we can rig up a door gun situation, and how much it would be to buy a couple of heavy machine guns.
Very clever, Captain. Now this is where we're travelers again. See, we'll have to pay for that.
Of course.
Very well. Let me take a look. I don't know how much this
Yeah,
stuff
let me have
costs.
a. Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. They're these are arms deal. They have heavy machine guns, cannons, whatever.
Bellamy, are you asking him to set us up as a unfit?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be that fancy. I'm just talking about setting up like a ratchet strap tie down situation for a couple of turrets, and maybe like half opening the cargo doors and sticking the barrel out. And who's got the best skills regarding like infantry stuff or any weaponry and stuff like that?
All I got is auto rifle 1.
All right.
have,
Although I might buy an auto rifle now that I think about it.
gun combat 1, carbine 1.
And gunnery.
tactics
Is
1.
that's ship gunnery?
Gunnery is
Gunnery?
gunnery is shift gunnery.
Okay, then I have gunnery 1.
I hope that the FBI doesn't get mad at me here. I'm gonna ask how much does the cannon on a Bradley cost? How much?
A 20 Mike. Perfect.
While you do that, we'll just be
Bradley.
Googling how to assassinate warlords.
25. Is it 25?
How to assassinate arms dealers.
I'm gonna do some math
Wow.
here. Exactly. A Bradley fighting vehicle, which a comparable thing is in here, is apparently no. That's the cost of the whole program. It's $3.2 million. So I'm trying to figure out. And you said it's a 30 mic, right?
A 20. It's actually a 25.
25 millimeter. How much?
I mean, that's a bit bigger. I mean, that would be great. It's a bit bigger than I was thinking of. I was thinking more along the lines of like an M60 or something, but that would be good too. You know.
Cannon. I need to know the ratio. Need to do like an analysis here of if this much is how much the 25 millimeter cannon costs. This is how much the Bradley costs, so I can know how much it costs in Traveler. I am honestly curious. I can't help it. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good.
But I don't know if anyone's Google foo is better, but I cannot figure out how much even a 30 millimeter. Let's go up to like a Vulcan. I don't care. Just give me like how much does a Vulcan cannon cost? Go up a 300,000. That can't be right. Really? No way. That's achievable. Y'all, we gotta buy a Vulcan cannon. Apparently, $300,000 US. Okay, this is good news. Okay, this is good news because if it's $300,000, that's hard for me to believe. I feel like a Vulcan cannon being the cost of a mortgage just doesn't sound right to me. Let's go with it. Okay.
Maybe it's a resale.
I mean,
if that's the case, then the really good news is that a G
Check
carrier.
out Army surplus to see if there's any on the market.
All right, actually, that breaks the game. A G carrier is 1 million credits and 8 tons. So,
I mean,
so I'm gonna say, if you want a heavy cannon that would be on the G carrier, let me see. Has a gunner, 14 persons, gunner.
it should also be compared, I think, to a ship weapon, which I think a pulse laser is 500,000 credits,
Gosh,
and a beam laser is 1 million.
how much
So
damage
that's
does
sh-
a
that's
pulse laser do on the ground?
Well, it's an order of magnitude. Ship weapons used on the ground are
Like mega
ridiculous.
damage? Like
Yeah, I mean,
times
well,
100?
I'd never done it in Classic Traveler, but in Mongoose Traveler, it's like you multiply the dice you roll times 10.
All right, I'm gonna kind of cut the middle on a few of these things because but I think it's still kind of close to what you're saying. Okay, so I'm gonna say that this does 10 die damage. But it's like a 25 millimeter cannon, and it's 150,000 credits. Alternately, you can just buy weapons. Like you can buy a laser rifle. You can buy laser carbines here. These are arms dealers. So you can buy fancy guns here.
Here's a question. The group pool undivided total, is that all of our individual totals added up?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just double checking. So then I'll look at everybody and say, y'all want to be a gunship for 150,000? It means we pretty much have to get paid for this job, but
Yes. Let's do
I
it.
say yes.
okay.
Yeah, for sure.
How much of our cargo hold is going to be taken up? Like, is this thing going to be movable? Like, I want it to be like repurposable, like where we can move it aside if we had to, where it's not just always, or at least like we can still cargo load. We can still load cargo.
That's
like
a great question. I think it will be a pain in the butt, but not completely unusable. So here, what I'm specifically mean is, I'm looking here. You have a special cargo section. I don't know why that's sectioned off as special cargo. And you've got deck 2 and 3 cargo hold. This is going to take a section of a cargo hold. So it's going to like cut down on your cargo. How many tons of cargo do you have?
We have 82.
Now, this won't take up the displacement, tonnage, but just using 82 is like units. I'm going to say it's going to take up like 5, which is a pain in the butt. Like you'd like to have that, but yeah.
Oh, that's perfectly understandable. I think it's probably worth it because it widens the amount of types of jobs that we can do. So.
Yeah.
All right, and then I almost hate to ask this, Ross, but ammo cost.
Yeah, no, that is a great question. It would be expensive. Where is the ammo in here?
I'm not
Somebody
sure.
can
Yeah.
help me out with it. You do need to actually buy ammo for it. I wouldn't search, except these things suddenly matter a lot. Like the amount of money you have matters quite a lot. So I'm looking. Equipment. Where did you all see? Oh, it's got to be in weapons, actually. What I'm gonna do is just multiply the weapon the weapon ammo that I was doing before. Weapons, starships. Where did you all see the ammo cost before?
I've never seen it.
I know it was in here.
There's ammo. Well, I'm looking up ammunition, just doing a search for the word ammunition.
What page is that on? Here we go. We're getting into the weapons now. I think I found it. I wouldn't be searching for this, except this you need to know. Much that's the weapon.
Okay, so
cost.
it gives the ammunition price is given per weapon.
I'm trying to find that. I'm gonna go to my charts.
But there, of course, there's nothing in there for a cannon.
All right. Well, I'm gonna compare it to the laser carbine power pack. Is what I'm comparing it to.
All right. Well, the recharge on that is 300 credits. Or no, that's a laser card. 200 credits for a recharge on the laser carbine.
I've got the base price, the power pack, which has 50 rounds, is 1,000. So you can get so what I did is double that. So you can get 50 rounds of this thing for 2,000 credits.
Oh, 2,500 actually is the base price. Extra power pack is 1,000. Recharge is 200.
Yeah. So I'll say that yeah, for that's for the power pack, and the ammo price is 200. Yeah, so I will say, I don't know, I still think that, so I'll cut it in half actually. 1,000 credits, you can have 50 rounds.
Okay. I say we get a clean 100 rounds.
That's not much. I'll just put minus 2,000 here, and then you've got minus 150k. Does anybody want to buy any guns or weapons or armor or anything?
I have a couple questions about that.
Yeah.
I think my auto rifle skill was just one of the ones that you gave us all at the beginning because we were all soldiers.
Right.
Does that apply to auto pistols? Does that transfer, or is it more like it's always on an individual type of gun basis?
It's always on an individual gun basis, but you always have weapon skill 0 as a traveler. And what that means is, it's based on your dexterity. So for an auto pistol, if you have a dex of 6 or less, you get a -1 no matter what. And if you get a 10 or above on dex, you get a +1 no matter what. And then
That's what I thought.
And then if you have
Oh.
auto pistol 1, then it's a +2, and auto pistol 2 is so on and so forth.
I don't have auto pistol as a skill, and I'm trying to remember why I originally bought one at the beginning of the campaign. And so I'm thinking I might buy an auto rifle because I actually have 1 level in the skill, and I have
You could do that.
really high dex.
Yeah.
Did you say you had gun combat 1?
I had gunnery one.
Somebody mentioned gun combat.
And there's no gun.
No, I had gunnery, and I asked if that was the skill for
That's
combat.
I have gun combat.
okay. It was books.
Carbine.
So books. If you
But
have
gun combat, you choose a type of firearm, right?
exactly. So you could. I mean, you know, if you have it listed as gun combat, it probably means you didn't actually get around to choosing which gun you want that to be yet.
It was that carbine because I have rifle 1. Let's see. It says I have rifle 1, carbine, tactics 1, SMG 1, and then gun combat 1.
Yeah.
So maybe it's one of those, or I wrote the note wrong.
You could
It's
raise
possible
one
you-
too. I don't know why it says. Is this on the VTT? Because that might be part of the problem.
It's in the thread where we sent our stuff initially. Here, let me.
According to the VTT, I have that you have auto rifle, carbine, rifle, SMG. The ones I
Okay,
have.
so
At some point, you must have chosen.
yeah,
specific
it sounds like I chose at one point then.
Well, I tell you what. Why don't we're getting close to time here. You guys, between sessions, if we start shooting, we'll stop there, okay? And then between sessions, if you want to buy stuff, and let me give you the limits of what they're willing to sell you. Even here at this kind of like crazy place, they would be reticent to sell you combat armor. Combat armor is like an Iron Man suit, Halo, like a Spartan suit. That's how I think of it. So like to get a Martian Marine suit, you know. So to have that would be crazy. Not to say it isn't possible eventually,
Cool.
but where the frick is
Yeah.
my lost it again. List of guns and armor here. Here we go. So what you can get though is you can get at least one laser rifle, and this is where I'm confused. A laser rifle is not a rifle. It's like a big mounted side cannon with a pack, and you can have one of those. You can purchase laser carbines, SMGs, well, everything else on the list you can purchase. But you can only have one laser rifle, and you can have any other armor.
I think cloth is probably the best we can get before you get to combat armor. I could be wrong.
You could do things like get reflective armor, ablative. Those are higher, but they have some downsides to them. You know, the cloth armor is like good all-purpose armor.
Yeah, those other ones are really specific to energy weapons.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, I agree.
Which I don't know if we're assuming. I mean, okay, so you said we had profiles in this pad of these, also his crew. Is there any indication from that of the kind of weaponry they're known to use or to carry?
Assault rifles.
Okay. All right, so we don't have to pre-plan for energy weapons then.
Something important to them is it seems like they probably wear cloth armor as well. In the past, that's been the toughest thing that you all have dealt with, is trying to overcome an enemy's armor.
25mm cannon can overcome a lot.
I think we've asked this before, and the Facsimile print didn't have the answer for us. What's the deal with grenades, bombs, and other things of that nature?
Yeah. I'll say that you can get a case of explosives here. However, the huge downside to doing that is they're fabulously expensive. but they would do like, I don't know. If I don't find it, I'm gonna say like 8 die damage. And then it would.
I think it would be a wise investment for the crew. Like we could all pool our money for just a crate of grenades.
You could get a crate of grenades for like 100,000 credits.
100,000.
I mean, yeah, they're like a crate of explosives. Yeah, it'll be very expensive.
Well, we'll learn to make our own
Okay, how
explosives.
how about like a shoebox of C4?
Yeah, okay, you could do that.
Well, nobody Google it. Like,
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, let's stop Googling things tonight. Yes, a shoebox of C4, indeed. Plastic, you could probably get for, I'll say, 20,000 credits, and it'll do 10 die damage, but it has to be placed in advance. It can't.
Sure.
Jury-rigged
Well,
for
the
unreliable.
idea, the idea is to place it inside the crate of weaponry, and have it be remotely operated.
Nice.
But the client want, or the what do you call it? The patron wants to see the face of the guy that
Some evidence.
that we retire, which seems to say that we need to be up close.
Well, perhaps a DNA sample would be sufficient.
But how are you going to get that?
After we are sure that there's nothing but smoking wreckage.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And
yeah, something
and
like
so
that.
that issue of he was talking about the cloth armor that they have, and you're saying that the autocannon could take care of all of that. But would that be an argument for maybe getting that laser rifle or whatever? Would that cut through the armor?
Well, that's in the rules. Let me take a look. Go down here to the weapon chart, and it says laser rifle against cloth. Cloth has a +2 defense against. Wait, hold on. Let me compare that to automatic rifle. Yeah, that's right. So, wait, I'm confused. I think. No. You
Yeah,
get
what-
a +2 to attack against cloth armor with a laser rifle. Like, it does worse damage for some reason. Yeah, it's like worse. Meaning it would
What's
help
worse?
you. But yeah, like it would. The fact that they're wearing cloth armor and you fry them with a laser rifle, but more deadly.
Good for us.
Good for
Okay.
Good for you. Yes.
But can
I-
anyone
I-
use
Surprised I
one?
just saw that. So.
I have a thought as an alternative to recovering material or evidence of the guy. If all of us are just like wearing a GoPro when we go to attack him, and we just like get footage of the entire ordeal, and we can just hand that over, or no, just show it to our patron and be like, "See, we killed him, and now we're gonna delete this footage."
You know,
You think we have GoPros at this tech level?
it's tech level 8. I mean, I bet they have
We
them.
get a dash cam for the Lady of Mercia.
They probably have them here. You know, maybe they have a few promotional button cams.
I mean, our computers take up a whole room, you know. So
But it's an interesting idea. Like maybe we can live stream the event.
So this is interesting from the point of view of their technology. I'm going to actually say no. I think normal Imperial technology, like when you're not in a wasteland in a huge war zone, or after a war, it's like 12 or something. I think it's good. Like in regular Imperial technology, it says. Where does it say this? It says.
Yeah, that's normal for the core.
Yeah. Actually, even better. Like a normal Imperial world would be below 15, but above 12. But anyways, so such a place would have it, but no, yeah, not this place.
not here.
All right, scrap that idea. We're just gonna have to bring back some tangible evidence.
It's like Fallout. It's like they assumed fusion technology would happen before digital technology.
Right.
It's interesting. Well, anyways, all right. We'll figure all that out later because once the boom boom starts happening, we'll stop and you all can go shopping. Figure it out in chat. All right. So in the meantime, though, what's the plan? Are you going to head out there to that rendezvous point and try to do this or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So keeping in
that-
mind, like, we could have that sort of Blades in the Dark style. Yeah, you're going to go shopping, and I get that, but I just don't want to spend all our time doing that.
No, it's fine. Okay, so
Fair.
so did he include in this pad what the plan is supposed to be?
There is no plan, except that you have coordinates. You can tell that this is out in the wasteland, and it's in a ruined facility where there used to be a city there, and it's there no more. And there's like some sort of structure. You can tell that this structure is a repurposed temple that was used as a bunker before it fell. Like a ammo dump. And now it's just like an old bunker out in the middle of the wastes. And you can see that it sits adjacent to a small canyon, but otherwise it's just wide open ground. And then there's large stones nearby. There's a good landing spot. You would approach from the south in order to, not overfly and to meet with them. And the plan is whatever you all crack up. Because
Sorry, just to ask again, and those coordinates to meet there, who are we be meeting there?
you'd be meeting Captain Thorod Jorgulfsson. Jorgulfsson.
Jorgulfsson, gotcha. Might need that
Bjorgulfsson.
spell that.
Bjorgulfsson.
Bjorgulfsson.
BJORG.
That being our Marc.
Yeah. And you have all of his biometric data and what he looks like and everything.
Question about the meat point. Is that controlled by some party? Is it controlled by the target?
Hypothetically, the ICZ would claim it, but this is just wild space. It's lawless.
Because I think that if we have time, I don't know when this meet is scheduled for. I think we should probably do some reconnaissance. Maybe set up some conditions that would,
Yeah.
go in our favor, right?
Yeah, we let's head out there right away.
Yeah.
Reconnaissance, okay.
Reconnaissance, maybe laying some, I don't know, some traps or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, let's let's go get a look at the place. And,
all right.
Yeah.
Let me kind of like.
I mean, when you said there is no plan, like obviously they're meant to meet there, just some sort of nebulous. So we'll let him know that we're on our way, and then he's going to make the rest happen.
You have a time and place for the rendezvous.
Okay.
And it's within like a day, like tomorrow. But you could go out and park nearby and do a reconnaissance. I'll kind of like squiggle here what it looks like. There is this would be like a big 100-kilometer area or so, and on this big plateau, and it's mostly just a wide open plain, and then there's a bunker. BTT scribbles with me, scribbling, and then there's like the remains of a city nearby, but it's just ruined.
Okay. The bunker is the meeting spot,
Yes,
and how close can we park the ship?
right on top of it if you want to.
I think we want to.
All right.
Here's my plan, everybody. Here's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
We set the place up, making it look like we're paranoid. Okay? We park right next to the door with our cannon facing, like at anyone who would approach the door. and just make it clear, like, we don't want, we mean business, and we intend to be
Do we have?
safe about it. And then once they go ahead, sorry, Shipley.
I was gonna say, do we have our trade goods yet?
We do not.
No, I mean, yeah,
Okay, so
you could say that you took it on. I mean, because unless
Oh,
you
the
want to.
weaponry, sure. How many tons is the weaponry?
No, I mean, whatever you want to do. If you want to wait and circle back and go back and pick it up and come back, the arms that you're trading, you can do that, or you can.
Oh, no, let's I propose we take it on board, go out there and stay out there until the rendezvous time.
Sure, but I'm sorry, Tiffany. What were you saying though?
yeah, that was just my question. If we're gonna go out there set up early, I just wanted to make sure we had brought the goods with us. There's no point going setting out early if we have to come back and get
That's a good
the
point.
arms.
Okay. Yeah, sure. You could have it on board as well as the weapon and the ammunition and everything. Okay. Yeah. So you're saying you make it look paranoid, like you're trying to be like, hey, look, we don't trust you, and you aim this gun on him, put the ship right on him, and everything.
Yeah, but other than that, we're like, we expect them to come, and we're ready for them to show up, and etc. And also, um, well, okay, I'm sort of rethinking. Okay,
I will say
what?
someone has to man the gun. To be clear.
Oh, sure, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, I think that's gonna have to be me. Um, Wait, what dex gives you a bonus?
Tiffany, I'm sorry, Shipley has gunnery 1, and I think.
So you're gonna put this under gunnery? Because usually that applies to ship weaponry,
Oh
like
yeah, this is
spaceship
totally going to be
weaponry.
gunnery. I think it says here
Okay.
for the vehicle that it's a gunnery skill even. I think I saw that. But go ahead.
Okay, in that case, great. So then nobody has to be rolling at a disadvantage or anything. Um, uh, then that means, but what I was going to say is maybe it would be better actually to just post the ship up. We don't want to draw attention to the place from actual interlopers, do we? Let's just keep the sensors going at all times on the ship to detect anything. We'll keep it landed, um, and just keep the sensors going at all times. Somebody monitoring that. Um, and then the moment that we're sure there's somebody coming towards this spot, we take off and do like a low orbit of the spot. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Does everybody agree to that?
Why? What do you?
Because that maybe hopefully it looks like you're coming in on an approach instead of you
Oh,
just been sitting here or something.
I'm not trying to commit any subterfuge on them. I just want to, like, more like we're here and also part of the paranoid thing.
Okay. Sure.
Um,
And
and
then
also
after you land, you want to keep it running.
if it is a trap, I would rather be in the air orbiting like a
Sure.
gunship than on the ground, having to get into the air.
Yep. Okay. All right. So you're gonna go out there. You're gonna like recon it, active sensors, wait with the active sensors on. When they come, you're gonna take off, do a low orbit, come in, land, train the weapon, keep it close, and keep the ship on and stuff. Active
Oh, the
sensors.
ship should always be on.
All right. Let's do it. Here you are. You put the little. I could kind of do this. Cool. Well, probably that is that big.
Ooh. Wow.
All right. So here you are, and
I think I just closed my VTT.
And it's
So who's on that laser rifle?
I could be.
Oh, we got it. We got the laser rifle.
We're assuming that we did. We're going to do the accounting later, but
What I know is I'm piloting Shipley's on the guns for the ship.
yes.
I don't know what else. I guess, I mean, earlier today we said that books was beyond the communications.
I have a really bad dexterity.
Okay, so that means
is everybody able
Really-
to see?
I can see,
Yeah,
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
my VTT up again.
I can see a blue arrow or purple arrow that you're...
Yeah. So this is what happens. We can suss some of this out in chat. But, you know, who's on what weapons you have, you know, I get that. But just before we end here, this deal gets set up. I mean, how do you roll out? Is it just one person? Is it just Captain Bellamy? Is it somebody else? Who, you know, how do you make the handshake? See him come in, come back around and land.
I think it should be somebody other than Bellamy, just for the sake of the interaction going smooth. I think it should probably be Marcello.
Ah, okay. Marcello.
And Bellamy is just going to be standing to the side, looking like a crew member with a sword, and sword at his side and revolver at his other side.
All right. Okay. Some vehicles come in, and you see some people setting stuff up in a facility, and then some people come out. They're armed, and you see a scarred-faced man, and he says, "Who is the captain?"
Greetings, and I hold my hand high up in greeting.
This milk drinker is not the captain. That old man is. Is this how you do business? Do you start with lies?
Oh, well, nobody's lied as yet, have they?
No lies here. No lies here. This is the captain here, but who are you?
Yes. Since you do not know how, let me be direct. I'm Captain Thorhard Borgolfsson, and I'm here to make a purchase of some weapons. And, yeah.
Well, see, I'm not very good at talking, so I like to put our best foot forward. It's as simple as that, friend.
You're a captain of a starship and you cannot talk and you make children run your ship for you?
Well, now that you put it that way, it's a good point. They are like children sometimes, aren't they?
Wait a minute.
I'm ready to fly off.
But
Okay, boomer.
Do you have...
Okay, boomer.
Do we have any communications that allow us to hear any of that from on board the ship?
oh sure, yeah,
you're
we've always got
probably-
our
that's
little
right. You're
Our
probably...
walkie-talkies are always hot.
yes.
Yeah. And I don't know who's on the gun, but we'll figure whoever.
Shipley's on the gun.
Shipley. Okay, Shipley's on the gun. All right. And then
I'm on the gun.
you got some people there with like a lift, ready to move some stuff there, Lothak. And so do you have the cargo, or was this
100%.
just very well? They bring out a case with credits. And then at that, as this exchange begins to happen, people arise from the dirt nearby. And looks like, and they train their weapons on these people. Then these people turn around and train their weapons on these people. And they're like, Don't believe them, Captain. This is some sort of ruse.
What?
Who's training weapons on whom, and who said that?
I'm Captain Borgelson.
What?
That's really it.